So this is a bottle of Calistoga Vineyards Cabernet Sauvignon, vinted in 1983 in Napa Valley, California. It has been sitting in my cellar for 36 years, I guess. And I thought it'd be a fitting wine to have for Christmas this year. It's the oldest bottle I've got, well, almost. Since it's a Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon, it should have good varietal character. It's aged well. If it hasn't turned to vinegar, it should be delicious. So I think it'll be fun to open it and see what we get today with this. Calistoga is famous for its water, Calistoga water. And it's right in Napa Valley. It's a beautiful spot, real typical of the area. And it's in the heart of the wine country in Napa Valley. If I recall correctly, Calistoga Vineyards is right off the thoroughfare that goes through Napa Valley. And as all the wineries down there do, they have beautiful tasting rooms and picnic areas, and they're fun places to go. So this should bring back good memories. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon, so if it were young, it'd be fairly tannic. Think of tannin in tea. It's kind of a astringent taste, but it oxidizes as the wine ages, and it provides a lot of other varietal notes to it. It could have cranberry overtones. It could have fruit overtones. What we're really looking for is the actual varietal Cabernet flavor, as well as some of the nuances under it. Cabernets are small black grapes, and they make beautiful wine, and we're particularly famous for them on the West Coast, particularly areas that have more heat units. It takes a little bit more heat to grow Cabernet than it would, for instance, Pinot, which takes a little less heat, a little bit more tempered weather. So Cabernets tend to be stronger than Pinots as well because of that. But this should be a good one.
And what does it usually go with for food?
Oh my gosh. I am not a purist when it comes to wine. I'll drink any wine with anything, just about. But it goes really well with spicy foods, foods that have a dark sauce, anything that will have enough flavor in the food to stand up to the flavor of the wine. It will go beautifully with the curry tonight, and curry is nice and spicy, and I think this will be a good wine to go with that. It'll stand up beautifully to that. Does it bother me to drink a bottle of wine knowing that I'll never be able to taste it again? Unless I have bought multiple cases of wine of one type or another, that's always the case. It doesn't bother me, it's just the experience of drinking the wine, and particularly if you're drinking it with friends or family that enjoy it as well, that makes it fun.
And how do you serve wine like this? Does the glass matter?
Yeah, the glass does matter. There's different styles of glass that are blown to enhance the flavors of different wines. Usually a glass with a little larger bowl with a curled lip, they'll kind of condense the nose so that when you smell it, it helps enhance the flavor. Is probably good for something like this. And luckily we have glasses like that, so we should be perfect with this.
And if somebody was just getting into wine, what varietal should they start with?
Oh my gosh, it's hard to start with a cab because Cabernet is a little stronger and it's more of an acquired taste. But I wouldn't guarantee that. If somebody has a palate and really enjoys red, I would try going with a Syrah, maybe a Merlot to start with. Pinots tend to be more expensive, so I wouldn't start there, even though it would be a good wine to start with, but the cheap ones aren't that good. Cabs, I wouldn't go with the cheap cab, because young cheap cabs are just astringent and they're really not that enjoyable. But a Merlot would be drinkable right off the bat. A Syrah would too. Petit Syrah is another grape that is much bolder than even a Cabernet, and I wouldn't definitely start there. It happens to be my favorite. What am I I'm most excited about this wine, just opening it up and pouring it and having that first smell and see what it's like, to see if it's really weathered and aged well. Yeah, that'll be interesting. One never knows, but the cork isn't leaking, which is a good sign. I've had very, very old bottles where the cork is almost completely decomposed. And when that happens, it lets more air in, which oxidizes the wine more quickly, which can turn it into vinegar. So luckily, this bottle doesn't look like it's going to have that fate, but I guess we will find out. So I think the next thing to do is just open this bottle of wine and see what it's like. What do you think?